a 3 in Saturn. You don't have to be a 3 to experience this. If you got a 3 somewhere in your spread that's in a more challenging place, this is something you deal with on a day-to-day basis. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Because when those cards come in my weekly, I'm like, oh Lord, let me make sure, because I know, because I remember I had the 3 of clubs as a Mercury card one day, and I had convinced myself we were all going to die. We were all dying.
Oh my gosh, that's so.
But it was that, and I've told this story too. I remember me and my little one went outside and played laser tag, and all of that crazy ass thoughts were gone. So that's why I was like, you got to play, you got to get out of your head, and whatever you got to do to bring yourself back down to the present and just pay attention. Why am I thinking like this? Because again, the 3 energy, there's that sense of, I got to do it. I got to make this. I got to, what do I do? And then you'll get yourself involved in something that probably wasn't good for you out of the whole like fear. And now you're kind of going to be like, God dog it, why did I do that? You know, now you're mad at yourself. You're beating yourself up. When really, if you would have just spent a minute and really bringing yourself back down to the moment and not worrying about stuff that's already happened or hasn't. Because a lot of times I think with the 3 energy, they're so focused on the next or the options that they don't stay current to their time.
Yeah, meditation was created for us.
Yes.
Slow down. Think about it. Meditation.
Slow down. Like whatever you can do, right? Play, but also slow down enough so your mind doesn't run away. J-Lo put in the Trinity with that 369 and the idea of that. I mean, it's interesting how many places the Trinity can really get activated in that concept of like above, below, within, or like yin yang and the seed within. Like there's just so many ways that it's like bring it together and bring it up from the inside out, you know?
Well, when you even think about like, look, 3, right? We just talked all about 3. And then 6 is what you just said. Slow down. Take that time before you sit with the thoughts and really sit with yourself, because 6s are about kind of going within and listening to that higher voice. And then the 9 comes and be like, all right, this is not my shit. I'll go let that go.
Yeah, this goes here, this goes here. I'm not taking that. Yeah.
I'm not attached. I don't have it, because really 9s want to set you free from all that stuff too. So that is so, like, you can see that with that energy.
Oh, I'm talking. I said, definitely, I agree. That is very cool. I'm like,
yeah. No, and I think that's another way to look at it too. Like, because yes, you have all these. Listen, that 3 be like, and you're like, okay, what am I gonna do with all this? And I think too, like one of the best things, like I said, is like move your body. I jokingly tell people in their weekly readings, if you got a lot of heavy energy, please go do something fun. I don't care if you're out there drawing with sidewalk chalk, if you're blowing bubbles as a grown ass adult. You have to do whatever brings you joy and fun so that you can get out of that space of creating unnecessary worry that honestly, it's your doing. It is not an outside thing. It's you creating false narratives in your mind, which is fear that, and until you really like see crap, because remember, 3 of you transform into 4s. So you're going to be good. There's peace with that.
Yeah. False evidence appearing real. Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
That's definitely something that applies to me. Yeah, I was just, as a 3 of diamonds, I do get worried. I've had those moments. I have a 9 of spades in Neptune. I know you have one in Venus. So you're talking about everyone dying, like all your close ones, loved ones dying. That's weird. But but the false evidence appearing real, I think for the 3 of diamonds is the 9 of clubs and 9 of spades. And Uranus and Neptune, the 3 of clubs, 3 of spades, and 9 of hearts, Venus, Mercury, and they have a 9 in Uranus as well. And the 3 of hearts transforms into a 9 that has a 9 in the moon.
Yep, 9 of spades.
Yeah, so I mean, all cards, eventually have 9s, but it's the placements of them and the consistency, right? Which is leads you to see their importance, So there's a completion ultimately for the 9s, and that completion comes in peace, but it's letting things go, getting new going into new cycles, graduating. Not saying everything is as taking a rainy day, knowing that you got tomorrow, as words from the great pastor Gloria, Gloria, hallelujah. So, so yeah, with the threes and the nines, it's definitely a pattern, of completion and graduation that comes. There's crying at graduation, but knowing that you got to go to college now. But also continuing, and getting whatever you need as far as credentialing or completing that job, and going to the next level, going to the next step, as well, and not putting something down, and not completing your ideas, not completing your work, and not seeing that, something, an obstacle isn't a end, that knowing that there's going to be obstacles along the way, and not giving up as well. But also seeing that, using your information in some type of way, as far as like speaking, giving in some type of way as well, with the nine of hearts. We were talking about those giving type of things as well. But
And the nine of hearts is the result card to what, the 10 of hearts, right?
yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the I think with the nine of diamonds, as you can see with the 10 of diamonds, so giving and really learning those aspects, not being so selfish, because there's a 10, right? It does have the ace of hearts and ace of diamonds. We were talking about the tens of selfishness, but the ace of hearts is also a humanitarian. My words have been catching me up, right? A humanitarian. So it has those aspects of giving ultimately in their life path as well. I don't know where their nines is. But what, if you can kind of see, yeah. So the nine ace of hearts has a nine of hearts in Uranus.
Yeah, because I think the ace energy, because when you really see that literally represents new life and new opportunity, it's like the epitome of one chapter closing and another one opening, another one beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can let go of that chapter, close that door, you know that there's a beautiful other door to walk through. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. You focus on the blessing rather than what may have been ending or completing. I think that's the difference, is we get so stuck on what was finishing or ending that we don't get to really enjoy the new stuff that could come, and I think for 10 energy, right, because they do represent such an accomplishment, such an opportunity to expand, to increase, to grow, to achieve, to succeed, you have to be able to close that chapter and walk into another one so that you can have more. If not, you're going to stay stuck. You don't grow. You don't learn. You don't expand, because that's what tens are: an expansion, an increase, because you're getting up to that crown line, to the royal court of cards, which is also going to come with more maturity, more responsibility, but again, it's because those are elements of that mastery. It is the mastery of self, more than anything. So I think that's why you see the aces and the nines with this energy so strongly, because even the 10 of spades, they have the 9 in Pluto, and 9 as a result card. The 10 of hearts has the 9 in Pluto. Not the 10 of hearts, 10 of diamonds has the 9. The 10 of hearts has the 9 as a result card. So I mean, it's you can see the connection as to why to really experience that increase. Like, even for instance, like I have, this is something that's happened twice now. So a year ago, back in like last January, I had double tens as my Jupiter day, and that day my landlord called me and told me, your lease is up, you want to re-sign, and oh, by the way, your rent is going to increase. Now, old Gina would have been like, oh no, what am I going to do? But I just literally was like, all right, I guess that means I'm making more money, because if my rent is going to increase, then that means my income is going to increase. And I was able to just, it's the only way I could look at it, right? Because what is the other way? Oh no, fear. How am I going to pay for this? Blah, blah, blah. That's how I would have instantly responded prior to this knowledge, right? This year, 2 months later, just last week, actually, my landlord called me. And what was crazy is it wasn't in my weekly spread like it was this year, But sure to shit, it was my 7-week spread, double tens in Jupiter, same plate. And what happened? My landlord called me. Guess what? Your lease is up. If you want to resign, your rent is increasing. I'll be damned. Let it happen on with these double tens. But again, all right, cool. That means I'm making more money. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the only way you let go of this and not hold on to the oh no, what am I gonna do? I just have to look at it like, I guess that means the universe is gonna have more money for me, because if my rent is increasing, and so is my income, and you let it be, you know. So that it's what I've, and it's funny that I'm able to track it to those damn tens and be at peace with that. Like, all right, cool. I'm making more money then, because it's an increase either way.
No, for sure. And that also comes, like, again, with those queens and Saturns, the responsibility, but having the know-how and the ability to make money, that comes along with it as well. The 10 of diamonds, and relationships and friendships. The 10 of tens can be popular. I know a 10 of hearts that's pretty popular,
Yeah.
very socially, just unintentionally funny. I think with the 10 of hearts, Jack of clubs, I always say the 10 of hearts, that's a party. Like the aces are friendships, relationships. I think those are like, eventful type of energies, like going out, being social in some type of way. I went past a soccer game. It looked so fun.
I went out last night, actually. I went out, me and my friend, we went out to dinner. We bounced, we tried to find a place to go listen to music that wasn't like a club, but we did. We went out, we were with the people last night. It was fun. And I was like, this is perfect for a 10 of hearts energy week, because I don't go out. So it was definitely wanting, but then, I mean, we weren't out long. We were out.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like we don't know much about the Jack of Hearts week. We probably want to do some of that, but I have to go because I have a day that's taking me in lots of directions. But I'm happy to know more about how to play my Jack of Hearts better. I really like the stuff we learned today about the tens and the aces. It really makes a lot of sense. I've been really thinking a lot about the 10 of hearts all week and how to use that card and get the rewards of that card. And it seems like it has a lot to do with being able to like trust yourself and stand in your own clarity.
Yeah.
And not overgive like that Jack of Hearts likes to set you up to do. Just do what you want to do and use that rabbit energy to go, go, go.
Yeah. And with the Jack of Hearts week coming up, one, you got to be careful of, again, that exhausting yourself to save others. There could be something with children next week, because it's a very strong, childlike energy. So we may see more focus on children. I always go back to what's happened in previous Jack of Hearts weeks too. I've noticed it's a very interesting energy to play out weekly, especially collectively. The last 2 years since I've been really focusing on it, it was my kids' spring break. But this year it's not. It starts, but their spring break, actually the full week is the following week. And the last few times we've gone and done stuff, and so it was really fascinating to see what plays out in that week. I also think, if I'm correct, I'm not 100% sure, maybe someone knows specifically, but I think 4 years ago in this week is when we got the shutdown. We were stuck.
I don't know that. That could be.
Because I remember my kids, that was their last day of their school before the spring break, and then they didn't go back to school that year.
Oh, you saying in
2020, yeah.
Jack of Hearts week?
I think it was.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what sometimes the calendar, it falls in different places, but it was like the 14th or 15th of March. Because they always have like their little fun run, and then that's the last day for spring, for school. They don't have school that Friday. They're off that whole week prior or following, and then they never went back to school.
Nice.
I mean, we could look it up for real, but I think it may have been in that same week. So
that was for the children. It must have been for the children, even though the adjustment was so tough. But yeah, I have to make myself go. So thank you guys. I will see you next week. And I love everything that's happening. I'm proud of you both for all the stuff that's going out. Rashad, I see all your posts, and Gina, all the things coming through. And I just really appreciate the way everybody's getting stronger in what they do.
Yeah, today's King of Diamonds Day, right? Yeah. Don't be your
King of Diamonds, and then I'm like dropping stuff like the King of Diamonds. I'm just appreciating it. That's all.
Well, enjoy your day.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Bye. I can't see how long we've been on here, but
an hour and 1 minute and a half.
Oh, okay, that's pretty long. They were saying that the lady did 52 videos. We have 52 videos, so I mean, we're not viral yet. I don't think I put out too many videos, and there's cardology. Hopefully, y'all appreciate it. You know, we hopefully paint the picture pretty clear for you to kind of tell you the energy of the week or the energy around the cards mostly, you know, as well. So that's how we kind of explain or look at it, because these are, you know, like I said, principles, you know, energy that builds on top of each other. So whenever you're looking at it, it really, we're trying to paint a picture, even when it comes to like your personal cards and your weekly. So Gina was talking about how she gave the tens and 2 tens in Jupiter. What was it, Jupiter and Saturn?
No, it was so the weekly when I got the first phone call, the first time my rent increase was it was literally on my Jupiter day, which is Thursday, and I had the 10 of clubs and the 10 of diamonds. Now that same plate I'm on for my 7 weeks, and I was holy crap. This week has been my Jupiter week, and that's when I got the call. It's crazy. See, I be having these epiphanies in real life time, y'all, because that's just nuts to me that it happened on the same. And I'm in my Jupiter week where I had the 10 of clubs and the 10 of diamonds as the vertical. It's the same plate, it's different. So
when you say Jupiter week, what do you mean?
In the 7-week spread.
Oh, the 7-week spread. Okay, I got you.
So the first time it happened, it was on my Jupiter day in a weekly read, right, on that weekly plate. But now I'm on that same exact plate on a 7-week spread, and that happened in my Jupiter week on my Mars on a Wednesday instead of on Thursday.
So when does your week start for you?
Monday. I was born on a Monday.
Okay. Yeah. So
and that's how I do my, the weekly readings. I read it to you the day when your week starts, not just if you're born on a Thursday, your week starts on a Thursday.
Yeah, I was born on a Thursday, but I don't know what week I'm in now. I haven't checked my weekly.
Oh, right now I'm finishing my Jupiter week. I'll start my Saturn week tomorrow in that 7-week spread.
You say you on which one?
I'm on my this week that ends today for me is the Jupiter week in the 7-week spread. So tomorrow starts my Saturn week, which is interesting that it'll be a Jack of Hearts week.
So it's a Jack of Hearts week for you personally?
No, collectively.
Collectively. Oh, okay. I got
in
you.
My Saturn
of
a 7-week spread. Yeah.
Gotcha. And it's my Saturn card. So, but hopefully it'll be a good week. So I'm on my Jupiter. So this is my Jupiter week for me right now.
Okay.
As well, talking about Jupiter's a lot. And I have an 8 of spades, which is the 10 of diamonds, 10 of hearts, hearts card, Venus card. Yeah. So that's interesting. I was speaking around the 10 of spades, 8 of spades energy as well. But these are all, I don't want to get too much into the jargon. I'll take a look at the comments before we leave as well. So what we're speaking on, as you can tell, is about your weeklies and how to read your weeklies. So for you, Gina, what does that kind of help out with, or how does that kind of help you to look forward or to plan anything for yourself?
I mean, I like to know that, okay, it's a Jupiter week, so I can, especially look what happened, an increase, an expansion of my rent. 10 of clubs, 10 of diamonds. But that also now means, like, especially when I look at those tens, how am I putting myself out there? And you could see throughout the week, and it's interesting too, the word moon glow, my business is a 10 of hearts. The name is a 10 of hearts. And there was more posts of me. I did that show So I kind of really did put myself out there. I experienced my 9-year anniversary and shared about that, did an email, ran a sale. So you use the energy. And then next week, with it being my Saturn week, okay. And I think I have the long range card for me is going to be the Queen of Clubs. So there may be which would make sense too with the Jack of Hearts being children. There may be more focusing on mothering. I'll actually be at the school volunteering for my daughter's fun run thing. I'm volunteering for a field trip. I have to turn that stuff in tomorrow. How can I serve others with the Saturnian, Saturn and what's interesting, the Queen of Clubs for me isn't an energy that I wouldn't say enjoy, because I know I'm their Pluto card. So I find it to be more challenging. So I'm going to have to work probably harder. Is that a word? Harder to trust my intuition, to really trust the guidance that comes to me. I feel like sometimes when I have heavy Queen of Clubs energy for my own personal, I will get those downloads that I tend to, I think it's more visionary. So really being able to serve others through a higher intuition, which is funny because it's a Jack of Hearts week. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't remember the rest of my cards. I think I do have heavy 3, so that'll be real fun. But yeah, that's how I look at it. Okay, it's a Saturn week, especially with me specifically, because I'd be like a whole child and want to play a lot. Okay, you got to do your work. I just received my restock. The rest of my restock is coming. So I'll be diligently shipping out orders that I've had back orders for the last few weeks. So I'll be busy. I know that I'm going to be busy working, which I like. I'll definitely use that energy wisely because it is Saturn. I don't mess with Saturn. I understand the responsibilities that Saturn wants of me. And when I am responsible and I do my work and not play all the time, things actually work out better. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't know what my Pluto or my result card, but I know for a fact that my long range is the Queen of Clubs. So yeah, I look at it like that. And I'll look at the 7 week, and then I know, okay, so then I have my Uranus week and then my Neptune week. And then I start to see, okay, the next 7 weeks, and just to try to see what's been playing out. I really do spend some time trying to connect it all for myself a lot, but I also do it for my clients too. And that's helped me, I think, tremendously, learning these plates and how the cycles and the patterns that they go into, because when you're doing weekly reads, they're the same plates you be on for a year or 7 week as well. So you start to see the patterns.
Do you know the calculation of how to get this? Not to put you on the spot, but I was looking at the 7 week. I'm trying to see where the calculation is, but that's
no. You're the numbers person. You're the calculator, not me. I don't do that stuff at all.
Even more jargon. So whenever you use it, do you give a printout, or how was your readings, or is it video?
It's recorded. I do my readings are recorded and sent to them before their week starts. And I will, like, when I don't specifically read the 7 week plate. I had one client ask me to do 7 week readings for them. That was a long time ago. But what I do is I will check before I start their reading, where are they in their 7 week cycle. If they're on the very first week, I will then let them know the card that they're displacing for that 7 weeks. And that's about the extent of the details that I'll go into for the 7 week spread. And then I go into their weekly reading. I go into their weekly spread. And so it's a recorded reading that gets sent to them right before their week starts. And it really does help. I've had clients, I've got people who've been getting these readings for 2 years, so it's definitely a good insight into the week ahead, how to kind of maneuver the energy that could be showing up. And I've been doing them I've got clients for 2 years, year and a half. I've got my last few clients are now coming up to a year. They're about to celebrate a year of getting weekly readings. And like I said, I'll only talk about the 7 week if they're going from ending one 7 week and starting a new one, just to kind of give an insight of the card that they'll be displacing over those 7 weeks. And that'll be part of their weekly reading.
Okay, so you go through the 7 week entirely?
No, only the card they're displacing.
Okay, only the card displaced. Okay, I got it.
That reading would be like too long. I'd give a lot of information. My weekly reading is minimum 25 to 35 minutes. Just depends. I need because I go through both the birth card and the planetary ruling spread. I use both for them personally, where they are personally. And even when the 7 weeks switches, I'll talk about where they're displacing for the birth card and what they're displacing for the planetary ruling card. And then I'll go right into their weekly spread. So this is a Mercury week of this brand new 7 week cycle. And this is the card you're displacing and blah, 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 blah. That's how I do it.
Okay. So I think right now my Pluto, you said today is the King of Diamonds, right?
Mm-hmm.
My Pluto this week for my 7 week is the King of Diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
Displacing the Ace of Diamonds.
So you're sitting in the house of the Ace of Diamonds for 7 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
So there's new opportunities. You know what I mean? Be open to new things that could come, and you might be more ambitious and driven to pursue something, to start something, to begin something, and not be afraid of that, because I know you'll talk yourself out of it. So you got to be willing to initiate something new and kind of, you know, the Ace of Diamonds can really like focus, and they can really go after what they want. And this should be a motivating energy for you to begin something new, to start something new, pursue something. That can be very successful.
Yeah. So it started on the 15th, February the 15th.
Oh, okay. You've been in there. And then you just say you started new work?
Well, when did I say that? It just depends. I'm always starting something. I am a 3 of diamonds. Let's not forget the Ace of Diamonds is our friend. Ace of Diamonds, 2 of diamonds. So yeah, so as far as me, myself personally, the clothing line and really trying to do something around the cards. And I was really, it's funny how you give readings and you talk to other people in their cards, So one of the aspects about one of the cards I was speaking about was the Ace of Spades. So talking to the Ace of Spades is the same thing for me, So knowing the spiritual value behind what you're doing, also as far as the material and the money, and that's kind of been somewhat of a dilemma for me, kind of lately. It's not looking at just the materialistic point of view, but knowing the spiritual aspects of what you're doing as well, or having some type of purpose. I was listening to a comedian. He was saying, which he said, what you meant to do and what you want to do are 2 different things, but looking at that,
and you have to know that the money will come. Like, that's the thing, Rashad. I think that's the difference is when there's a higher purpose for it, the money is the result, but it's not the drive. I don't do these products and talk to people for the financial reward. Yes, I run a business, and yes, it does pay, but at the same time, I think that's why I jokingly say, like, oh, you've been in business 9 years, and I still I didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been able to maintain a business for 9 whole years, not knowing anything about running a business, because my heart, my purpose was built is in this. So the money is just a result. You know what I mean? But if you go into something with that, this is how much money I'm going to make. This is how much money I need to make. This is how much money this is going to cost. I feel like that's the difference. You know what I mean? But if you put that spiritual purpose behind it, that money it will always come.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not attached. You know how much product I've given away to people? Oh my God. I mean, and with I've had people say, oh, I will do this. I will do this. Look, I know it'll help you. What you do with it from that on. I mean, I got someone, I had sent the sample packets that I have, given it to their family members. And, and then I hear back, oh, it helped their knee. And like that, to me, when I hear like, oh, it helped my grandma's knee, or it helped my dad's knee, or it helped someone with a headache, or it helped someone sleep, that is more rewarding than if they're going to buy. You know what I mean? I know eventually that will come back in a monetary way, but there's so much more gratification and so much more fulfillment to hear that something that I made, something that I created helped you feel better or helped you with something. That fills me more than how many orders I get. That comes, because I'll tell you what, you learn you can't even be attached to that, because you have a week where you'll be selling out, and then there'll be a week where there's no sales, and you have to have like faith that it's gonna come. I mean, I would have been done a long ass time ago if I didn't have a lot of faith in this. And the cards helped me, because I remember when I was going through that time with the business, and it was when I was kind of really getting into the cards, and it's like, dang, the Jack of Hearts, like, holy crap, that's what I do. You know what I mean? So it was really eye-opening to me that this is my purpose. And there's also, I can extend it with the cards and how I help people with the cards. That's another purpose, so, and I'm very passionate about that as well. So I don't worry about the money and how much a reading, or, I've got some clients that'll take a pause. I ain't tripping about it. It'll come back in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, and I've got clients that, hey, I work with them, financially too, because I get it. And I know that these readings have helped them with certain things. So like, if they come to me with something, I'm like, oh, well, you can, I've never been, no, you got to pay me now. And maybe that's a downfall, because I tend to have like where people ain't, I hate chasing people for money. I really do. Like, you're a grown ass person. You know that this is your bill. Pay it. I don't want to have to come and hunt you down for it. And honestly, if you don't pay me, then, that's on you. That's your karma, not mine. So I don't worry about it.
That's also important with the 10 of Hearts, 10 of Diamonds. Is like, I work, but you're gonna pay me. Like, yeah. I know my worth. I know my worth. The Ace of Diamonds, Queen of Diamonds. Knowing your worth. And you was just speaking about the 9 of Hearts. That is the reward. You were talking about the reward is you giving.
Yep.
That's the 10 of Hearts in itself. When you look at that card, it is housing, real estate, helping other people, in some type of way, dealing with the public, being social, and tens and kings are give in a humongous way. I think we were talking about like Madeline, like she goes to a lot of retreats and a lot of social organizations, social gatherings, and do spiritual work. I think that's like 10 hearts. If that's not like a 10 of Hearts included, I don't know what it is, right? But helping and giving to other people and those healing aspects, with those 10s and the 9s.
And that 10 has it's a big family. They have this their family is so important to that 10 energy. They're very, very big on the family, which is, I get that. And a lot of times, like I said, you find a lot of their family, though, look to them for that support, whatever it's financially, emotionally, physically, whatever it may be. You can see that they definitely rely on that energy a lot. The family members, I think, rely on the 10 energy, at least from what I've seen. I've definitely seen that personally with people that I know that are 10s, and I've watched the family, look to them as a resource in some way, whether it's through knowledge, information with the 10 of clubs, or even I've seen a lot of financial with the 10 of clubs. I've definitely seen that a lot.
Yeah, me too. They have the Queen of Clubs and Saturn also. So they also have those same aspects of a woman or a female, or being that person, like you said, that gives, or trying to nurture someone back up in some type of way, or overly giving and taking care of the home, fixing things around the house, maybe in some type of way.
Yep, you definitely see that. So as we get ready, ending this 10 of Hearts week, you can look back at your family and your, what you've done in regards to, like, even like, it's a great card for promoting, for advertising. It's a performer card. There's a element of being on a stage, or, any of the 10 energy, gaining a lot of attention in some way. And I could even just see it in my business, Moonglow, sharing about my, a lot of the posts were me, which is not something I really liked as much. But it was a lot of focus on me, since it was the 9-year anniversary, ran a sale, sent emails, posted about the show. So there was a lot more posts about me and putting myself out there, which y'all know is something that I, have definitely had to work more diligently at accepting, that I have to put myself out there, because people want to hear my story about the products and what it did for me, and how I did this. So I've been more open to that, because I see again, people want to hear that. They want to connect with it too. I think that's a big thing with that 10 energy, is a lot of connection, and be like, that's when you look at Michael Jackson, he connected with the audience. I mean, you had people fainting and crying and being carried off in ambulances just because this man, and he used that heart of passion of music and performing, that people probably were like, from their heart to his. They could feel him. They felt his music. You felt his presence. But there's that essence too. When you see the 10 energy, yes, they do really well. But I think those aces that they have to kind of go back and recharge themselves. That's why he was a completely different person they almost take on like a persona, a different personality to be on stage. Even Beyonce talks about how when she's on stage, she turns into Sasha, whatever it was. Yeah. So they have this stage presence. So sometimes you may not know who you're getting either. They know how to put on a hat, if you will, and it kind of allows them to transform into this persona that, again, captivates people and connects to people. But then when they get off that stage, they need that, a lot of times, very shy, very reserved, very quiet, not needing a lot of attention, almost kind of reclusing. And that kind of goes back to the aces that they have in their spread. They have to almost like recharge and go back to what they need to do, because again, they give so much of that energy out and about in the public and in the collective, that they have to kind of go back within to those aces, back to self, so that they can, when they go back out again, giving all that energy, giving all that love, giving all those resources, giving all that information, whatever it may be, they still have to kind of, check in with self.
Mm-hmm. And keep things to yourself as well. Especially, I think, with the Ace of Hearts, Ace of Diamonds. Ace of Hearts, like I said, is kind of, can be somewhat social, but like you said, having to make sure they reserve some stuff for themselves, isolate yourself. They say they actually have sometimes some lonely times or lonely road, but of course, but like you said, family is important. So acquiring and having a family or being around people is eventually, they'll attend. So it is, a very social card. But as far as the music and Michael Jackson, the whole performance thing, you know, they also have a 5 hearts in Uranus. I was looking at other hearts, the cards they have, like Uranus cards, like the 4 clubs. I think can be a shy card, but it has a 10 of hearts in Uranus. So those, looking at those cards that have like those hearts in Uranus, you know, it's kind of important when you're looking at social aspects, or maybe the ability, or what's in their Mars card. And then this one has the Ace of Hearts in Mars. But I know you're talking about the self, but it is somewhat social with being popular, also, creating friends in some type of way. So, but there's you know, a, a balance that has to be had, of knowing how and when to be selfish, because sometimes you got to separate yourself from the crowd in some type of way, So,
The 10 of Hearts, doesn't it transform into the Queen of Spades? Yeah. So there is this, family, nurturing, healing energy, with that Queen of Spades, the ultimate, healer, the ultimate mother, the ultimate, feminine energy of, being able to serve. So there is this essence of serving with that 10 energy. And because I like it, like the 10 of Hearts is, to me, is like, there can be a lot of healing through group. You could see healing through group therapy, with that energy too. Healing through a group. It might be, yes, they have that Ace in Mars too, but there's also an essence of like, I can do this better with others, and there can be more of a group collective healing, that can happen, with that 10 of Hearts energy transforming into the Queen of Spades.
mhm. Yeah, that's what I was saying with that King of Diamonds. I have a King of Diamonds this week. Um, actually, what was it at? Um, okay, the King of Diamonds and Pluto. Yeah, for my 7 week. The King of Diamonds and Pluto. The Queen of Diamonds is my moon long range. It's the Eight of Hearts, and today is my Eight of Spades. So they also have the Eight of Spades, which there's also groups and organizations in some type of way more. Also, as far as like health, when I look at the Ten of Hearts, actually, the person that I was speaking with was a Ace of Diamonds. I think I did post it, but she ended up going to the hospital, and I think her 52-day card, either her 52-day card or her vertical card, her was the Ten of Hearts and the King of Diamonds or King of Hearts, if I'm not mistaken, King of Hearts. The cards was like, so she'd be around the male, maybe a male physician, or a doctor, and I always look at the ten of Hearts as the hospital in some type of way as well,
Mm-hmm.
or some type of being around the healthcare system, or being, gosh,
It's the card of stroke too, by the way.
brain aneurysm or some type of, yeah.
Yeah, it's the card of stroke. If you actually put the word stroke in, it's a 10 of hearts, I believe.
Yeah, so someone was speaking about the Ten of Hearts, and a lot of times they do end up with mental issues as well, or something happening to the brain. They have the Jack of Clubs. I think that's a really mental card, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
there's some type of head or injury that can happen. And if you look at astrologically, I mean, that Mars card, Ace of Hearts, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Well, and they sit in what, Jupiter, Mars.
Hmm.
Yeah, so that's a lot of energy, and it can be I could see that being an aneurysm. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, because there's a lot of energy there, a lot of expansion and increase, very driven. You know.
Hmm. So we're giving out all the secrets, all right, or just making sure you understand. Of course, we'll probably be on for another 2 hours. We didn't go completely through the complete spread. Almost though. We touched on the Eight of Spades, not incomplete though, because it does deal with a lot of health as we were just speaking about. But the Ace of Hearts, Ace of Diamonds a little bit. We talked about the Queen of Diamonds, the Five of Hearts, not so much, but that performance aspects of dealing with people on the social aspects is what happened to my screen. It's important. And I think we really did get into the Three of Clubs, Three of Diamonds, Three of Spades, and your Nine of Hearts. The reward statement is something to kind of go back and look at as well. So I go through the comments. I know some people have left, so I don't know how many people are still here, but I'll go back and see if there was any questions before we leave out. But and then, if you want to say anything about the Jack of Hearts week, I think you got into it right when Madeline was leaving. Did you?
Don't make sure you put that oxygen mask on yourself first. Be careful of trying to be Captain Save a Ho. Um, spend more time with your kids. Don't get stuck. I think watch the emotions, because the Jack of Hearts, it can be very emotional energy, and be able to let go. Okay, watch out for the victim mentality. Relate. If something is ending, let it. See the brighter picture. See the bigger picture. Know that and really a lot of times too with those two nines that the Jack of Hearts has, there's a sense of that maturity, because it can be a very immature, bratty type energy. But it's initiations. That's the biggest thing with the energy. It's initiating you to a higher love, a selfless love, a love that is giving, that doesn't, without the attachments, without that expectations. It feels good to give. It feels good to want to be of service in some way, but again, not at the expense of your own well-being. That's downfall, is you'll, want to help and save, but are you also giving yourself that same love and that same energy as well?
So hopefully I can learn that sooner or later.
It
I,
is one
I,
of your lifelong lessons there,
yeah, I
with
can
that being
definitely.
your Saturn card.
I told someone I can be a sucker sometimes, but it's all right.
But and here's the thing, it's don't feel guilty for that. I think there's this element of like, I did that for me. Like there's this, whatever it is, there's some kind of guilt associated with giving to yourself and not giving to others. You got to let that go. I think that's one of the biggest things for the Jack of Heart energy, is that it's okay to pour into yourself. As much as you pour into everybody else, you've got to pour it into yourself.
Yeah, that the Ten of Hearts has some guilt that comes along with it as well. But yeah, taking time, I'm actually going to um, indulge into a facial. I did use a razor and it totally messed me up. So definitely taking the time to pour myself there. I did go out. I did invest into myself this week. You know, I invested, bought some new things. And like I said, the Ace of Diamonds. I have a big project, I think, around this clothing thing, and it's not really it's much so about the money, but I really just want to do something that's really dope around the cards as far as fashion, artistic wise, and it's all about principles. I think I use the cards, look at it as much as not just for me personally, but even looking at it as a principle thing, even if I'm not on my weekly, really understanding, going back and looking at the Two of Diamonds or the Ace of Diamonds, you know, no matter where I'm at, because it does remind me a lot of things when I read the cards. You know, it's a self check for myself. You know, because I can overthink, I can over sacrifice. You know, knowing how to be the Ten of Hearts, trying to, like I said, separate yourself from the pack as far as like being a leader. You know, and as much as you social, but you're the leader of the pack, so you held to a certain point amount of responsibility. You know, whenever you looking at it like that.
And
So
and you say you have the King of Diamonds and Pluto in that 7 week plate that you're displacing the Ace of Diamonds, or was that your for this week?
yes, King of Diamonds and Pluto. So it's displacing. It would be displacing the Queen of Spades. Um,
Well, I'm talking. So you're displacing the Ace of Diamonds for 7 weeks with the King of Diamonds and Pluto in that same 7 week spread.
right. Yeah, and it's displacing the.
So that's it right there. You have to, trust in your ability to do this. Trust in your ability to be a business owner. Like that's what it's trying to get you to do, is start it, and don't let that, that convince you that because that's King of Diamonds is like putting on your bootstraps and getting the shit done. Like, you know what I mean? Especially in Pluto, it is about taking your business reins and being a driving force, and really tackling any fear that tells you can't be a business owner, that you can't be successful, because that's kind of what Pluto is probably teasing you with, but that Ace of Diamonds, they just do it. So don't let that energy like stop you. You're very successful energy when you know go like follow through. Like you have all these ideas, but for whatever reason, maybe something within tells you it won't succeed, it won't go anywhere, people won't buy it, people won't, who cares, just do it, put it out. You never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. And especially King of Diamonds, they have a three of clubs that challenges them.
Right.
You know, so putting things off. You know, self doubt, fear. You know, overthinking things, creating scenarios that's not really prevalent or to the situation at now. You know, so to the situation
You're
that's.
meant to be, you're gonna you over these next 7 weeks, wherever you are with that, like there's a lot of transformation internally about your own values and your own worth, that you can even do this, and whatever has told you can't do it, that's what you're probably battling. But when you realize it's not a battle, it's you having just to really see yourself as successful, see yourself as a business owner, see this before it even comes into fruition, and then put it into action.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, and guess what? The Saturn card is, which is
What?
the um,
An 8?
no, the Seven of Diamonds.
Oh, there you go. There, it's right there. It's your own, you have to believe that, listen, this could be $1 million idea. Run it. Run it. Don't let anything tell you it's not.
They don't. We can't say run and play because that has gotten played out. Everybody's running plays these days.
But just run it though. Like
No,
that's
but
the
yeah,
thing. I
no, I know
can't
what you're
like
saying. That was just definitely human, but my own
that
personal.
3 energy can be such a mug because y'all will convince yourself that it won't succeed. But again, it's those false evidence appearing real that you're creating that it won't succeed because Seven of Diamonds is the millionaire's card. You either gonna have that mentality or you don't.
No, yeah, for sure. And it's a matter of habit, that can that that sometimes people can, like you take a hold themselves back, and it can fall into other things, the way you feel, the way you think, and Ten of Hearts is the positive attitude as well, needing that. But yeah, same thing with the Seven of Diamonds, Ten of Hearts. Seven, what's the Seven of Clubs for the Ten of Hearts? And
The cosmic lesson,
oh yeah,
which
yeah.
kind of goes to me with their Jack of Clubs being the challenging karma card. They have to constantly initiate their mind. They have to constantly, come out of that mundane and step into the spiritual, realm of, because sevens and jacks are like those bridges, in my opinion, from the mundane to the spiritual, from the peasant to the royal. So they're constantly, and again, with the ace being the Mars card, they constantly are, driving themselves to higher levels. But back to you with this, because I have something with this. With that Seven of Diamonds being your Saturn card, you got to also have patience. You're building wealth for long term. That's Saturn. It's not going to happen overnight. So you have to really come into reality that if you put something out there, if it doesn't hit or go viral, don't stop. Look at that Seven of Diamonds is not only just creating this wealthy mindset or this wealthy business, but you have to maintain it. And we know Saturn requires a lot of work. You have to almost contend with, oh no, I released this, right? And I only got one sale. Are you going to stop? Are you going to quit? Are you going to talk yourself that it's not going to succeed? Or are you going to keep going and keep pushing and keep working until it does hit, until it does? But you have to believe it's going to hit first before you can convince all these people to buy your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to share that with you.
Yeah. No, you're right. I always need it. It only makes sense. My environment is the Seven of Clubs.
Oh my God. Oh, Rashad, let me give you a reading. Let me help you.
Yeah,
I could literally, I don't even see the rest of it, but I can connect that. A lot of times you'll see the Pluto and the Saturn card are, you can see the challenge. And that's how I even do the readings. I really do bring it back down to those more, challenging cards. And why you are, again, you're sitting in the house of an Ace of Diamonds. Use that energy, but you're contending with your beliefs of success. And really, they're not even your own beliefs. Really, it's a great opportunity for you to create your own beliefs of what you can succeed and let go of other people's opinions and whatever that have told you you wouldn't.
yeah. A lot of times it's only me. It's only me. There's, of course, like I said, there was a
And
situation.
you can be the model for your clothes too, because you got that look, by the way. You don't even need nobody else. You can do all of it.
Yeah. You know what? Before I reveal my other part of myself. But no, you're right. I don't know about me modeling. I appreciate it. I do. But
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Your Saturn card is telling you to do it, sir. Do it.
But definitely, as far as getting it done and actually doing it and completing it and not holding myself back on my own personal beliefs, that I've created. But it's really nobody else. It is just me fighting me a lot of times. Whenever you compare yourself to other people, whenever you compare yourself as far as what you may have acquired at this point, and saying, okay, I don't have enough yet. That's why I was talking about those threes and those nines in the right place, and 9 of clubs, 9. Saying that I need more information, I need more of this and that. I think that's a part of the greed of not never being satisfied that comes with those cards sometimes as well. It's been like you need more, when you have all that you need now, and using what you have to create, right? The Ace of Diamonds, I think, can do that. They're the wizard, creating nothing, something out of nothing, with that particular energy. So definitely you can create something out of nothing, I think.
And you can even connect the Ace of Diamonds, the fact that you're sitting in the house of the Ace of Diamonds, and the Seven of Diamonds is the Saturn card. That's all about that inside out. It will be as successful as you see it, feel it, believe it to be. Nobody else will dictate that. So if you can see it as being $1 million idea or $1 million business, and take the whole monetarily, like the concept of $1 million out, and just seeing it as being successful because you see yourself as being successful. It's not even about the business. It's you believing in yourself and the ideas and the creativity that you have within you to create something long lasting, and that could probably pay you for a very long time. But again, you have to see the value in it first before anybody else will see the value in it. And if you don't believe in it, how are you going to convince anybody else to?
No, that's a fact. I really do. As far as it, I say it's clothing, but I look at it as like technology, a way of life, a lifestyle, and a certain. I think what artists or whomever doesn't think like that, right? But for me, I want to use a certain type of material, just for planetary aspects. I think it's very important whenever you looking at something, you talk about how you look at as far as like giving back, how you helping other people, the humanitarian aspects. I think that's what the lines they look into. How do I create? How do I involve or help mankind as a whole? Right. That's those lines. It's the humanitarian. It's the all. I forgot the word that you used last week. You know, um, but I think that's what you might have said the all. But yeah, so it's looking at everyone, and looking at how can I help a group of people, in a social aspect. So for me, the non clubs and non space, I think is very important, and just in my life spread. Even having the Queen of Diamonds at Nine of Diamonds there, I know. Even looking at Kanye West, he's so passionate about what he does because he's looking at how he's transforming a time period. Not just for himself, but for other people around him. How he's changing and inventing things that I wouldn't say that we haven't seen before, but it almost so. He's creating things that and transforming. I wouldn't say humankind, but I guess humankind in some aspects, right? And he sits Mars, Uranus, so it's the humanitarian aspects of that card. So for me, I say Uranus, Mercury. So even if you look at Trump, he has a Jack of Hearts and Saturn. So for us, sometimes it could be considered a sacrifice going to Jack of Hearts week, right? I think that's what Nina was speaking about maybe 3 years ago. She was so she's probably gonna mention that. We're gonna catch her and throw this up before. Let's see what she says about Jack. The third diamond's coming up, and that Jack of Hearts coming up this week. So um, yeah, so for us, it is doing something that's higher than us. I don't think he's so selfish and he just wants this for himself. Even if you look at it, he's talking about how he's going to clean the swamp and politically and clear out the White House and do all these things. And the last time you ever heard a president speak like this, I don't think it ended very well for him. Not to say it's going to happen for Trump. Not saying that. What I'm saying is they're betting against him, right? The cards are betting against him, or everyone is really trying to bet against him. They're waging this propaganda war to stop him from what he's doing, and they talk about him being racist. So and I'm just being honest, but in time periods that he was born, I don't think we've had a president yet that hasn't been raised by a parent who probably wasn't racist or had people in their family, And it's crazy, think we're on Earth and like, dang, like it's racism. These things exist.
Well, and you look at, like, if you really think about it, though, he's positioning himself as a savior.
No, yeah, that's what he's
And
trying to do,
that's
for
what the
sure.
Jack of Hearts is that savior card. So here I come, dun dun dun, dun, to save the day. But that's what he's doing. He's literally positioning himself. I'm to save this country. I'm saving. There's I don't think he uses those words. I don't pay attention to them, so forgive
Mm-hmm.
me. I do not get involved in that at all. But yeah, I can see from what I hear, in my little travels on the radio, when people were talking about I guess there was a State of the Union, or there was something the other night that I heard people talking about, and I don't watch it, but I remember even when because remember we used to break him down a lot in our little study groups that we had back in 2020, and 2021, about that savior energy. And he is, again, he's using his energy. When you really think about it, like, that's all it is using his energy to present himself as this, I'm coming to save this country or whatever. So he uses that.
No, he actually put a picture up with him with Jesus right beside him.
Oh my God. So there you go.
Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
he actually did that. So I'm not on point, right? Let's see. I went through the comments. I didn't see any major questions. And if they were, we did answer them most definitely.
Or we didn't answer them.
No, we did. I was good.
Rashad, you crack me up.
Mainly around the Ten of Hearts, thank you all for your reflections and questions as well. And I believe Gina was answering them, but if we didn't, we actually did during just speaking about the cards. So, but again, it all wouldn't be possible, and we all wouldn't get the feedback. As anyone that does this art, we love immediate feedback to let us know, like, is it true, or do the cards hold true for you? Are you playing the cards that you dealt, and how do you feel about how the cards have been played so far, or about the information? Does it, what they say these days, resonate, right? And that resonation is just confirmation on our side whenever we're speaking to you about your weeklies, or whenever you're giving us information. Because as much as you're shocked, or as much as you want to know, does the heart cards hold true, we want to know too. Because I was just telling someone, the only reason I still do this card thing is because it hasn't lied to me yet. So that's the only reason I do it, because it hasn't lied to me yet.
Oh,
And
they don't lie.
yeah,
These cards do not lie. That is, it's sometimes so like, golly. But I love it. I truly love it. Even like last night when we were out, my friend was talking to somebody, and I was like, we got to just find out his birthday. That's what we did. And then it just kind of gives you, like, do you want to keep continuing or no? You know what I mean? He was a 3 of diamonds.
oh man, oh my gosh. I was just thinking about, I was asking when you were saying that, I was just thinking about myself. And I was like, even not just, that's why I say the books was cool, but whenever you study people, it's like now I can't help but see the 3 of diamonds. I'm like, dang, I have to really look at my shadow side and certain things. I am that person. I was raised in my environment. I'm a product of my environment. So there's aspects and things, even down to, um, I even take it personally, but I'm a very chill, reserved, and I'm not a forceful person to sexually abuse anyone, or to do anything to anyone. But there was a time period, and I still talk to this person daily, so it's okay that I said. But I was chilling with them, and I'm a very touchy, feely person, and she yelled out something. I was like, "Yo, why would you say that? That's like so messed up." She yelled out rape. I was like, "Why would you play like that?" But it was and like I said, I'd be personal and open, and because I talk to this person every day, like this is like my friend. So, but we laugh at it now. But even looking at the 3 of diamonds, because we can maybe be playful, and you can put yourself in situations where, and look at the 3 of diamonds now on stage. a lot of them for sexual assault. And look at Trump talking about grabbing people in their places, right? So it's like things like that you want to laugh at and like, is that an archetype? Is that a pattern of that card? Could there be situations that you can put yourself in that things would happen like that? And like I said, this person is actually in my spread, and if you look in the books, we're like, in this, like, we cross each other's paths, so. But yeah, it's funny now, but looking at it, it's like, dang, there's a real pattern. Like, if I could tell someone that maybe I could help you out. Right?
And I think it's the 9 energy you have as well with the, there's a lot of different energy within that you can see that, because the 9s can be very, aggressive, I find, intimately, sexually, so are the other cards connected to them. So
the 2 of Hearts and Pluto, they hate rejection. Rejection.
And then it becomes a power. It becomes a power thing. You're going to reject me. Now I'm going to overpower you. You're going to take this. You're going to give it to you, whether you want it or not. Because how dare you reject me? Absolutely, that's exactly what it is.
Dang, Jimmy, we're going to ruin all our potential points.
I'd be exposing all of it. But I have a 2 in Pluto myself. I'm just telling on myself in some way, shape, or form. Rejection is no joke.
Yeah. They're like, he's seriously stressed out about that.
You want to go, Rashad? We've been on here almost 2 hours. It's time.
I know. I'm like, people, that lady had 52 videos of 10 minutes and we're on for 2 hours. Like, but I appreciate you all. So looking forward. Thank you for speaking about your product. I did catch that in the beginning. So 9 years in business. Congratulations. You should have celebrated this week, the celebration of you going out, right?
I did, and I treated myself to a really nice dinner last night. Me and we were like, oh, I'm getting this. I did not. And I was I had told myself, actually, I was going to start, like, each week do something, specific to me, whether it was buying myself something, just not because I needed it, because I want, what I mean, something I don't typically do. So I've been very mindful of, and last night's dinner, I was like, we went to a really nice place and definitely spend some money, but that's it's okay, like not having that guilt on that, not having this whatever shame that there may come with that, and doing that, like, it's okay to treat yourself, spoil yourself, because you do it for, that's your thing for everybody else. Like, it's okay to pour that back in yourself and not feel one bit bad about it or guilty about it or shameful about it.
Yeah, you got it. Diamonds, Ace of Diamonds. Everybody had it, was trying to get it this week. You got to pay the cost to be the boss, they say, right?
Yeah, right.
So thank you for all your services and what you give,
Thank you. Thanks for everybody for being here and listening to us rant on about these cards in our lives and stuff like that.
No, for sure. Especially if you tuned in this long, as one podcaster say, you are truly a gift and a fan of the art, and we definitely appreciate you if you was able to listen to us talk for almost 2 hours. So if anything, DM me, and the last 2 left, I definitely do something and maybe give you whatever I can, or maybe answer a question for you, or maybe a 5-minute reading. I will offer that live now. So I appreciate you for even being here that long, because I know you truly trying to learn, or we've given you something, or we've created value in some type of way. So definitely appreciate it. And thank you for the moon glow. I definitely get me. I'd say I have to get one. I definitely do. I'll do that probably today. I get on top of that. So what is the website so they can have that?
It's moonglowminerals.com. And today's actually the last day. I'm running my sale for the anniversary. It's 25% off everything, and you can use, what is the code?
Look at the intuition. Like, you better do it today.
yeah, it is the last day. The coupon will expire tonight at midnight. It's Glow 25, GLOW 25, and it's on 25% off any purchase.
And you should use Glorilla's song, Yeah Glow. That just can't. That's good.
I'm probably not going to do that, but okay.
That's what I was thinking. But that is so dope. It just came to my mind. So you said that. I can't help it. I just can't help it. Glow. I said that today earlier.
You did. Yeah. And so next week we'll talk more about obviously the Jack of Hearts week, and what we kind of go through. We're coming off the new moon in Pisces right now. We're getting ready to kind of I think Venus is going to move. Like we're going to start having some transits again because Venus will move this week. So into Aries, I believe. No, into Pisces. I'm sorry. So there's still a lot of that watery energy. But we have eclipse season coming up this month too, this month and next month. So a lot of interesting energy to unpack. So be here next week with us as we kind of review that Jack of Hearts week and what has played out.
Yeah, shout out to Will. He definitely has a clips video that he posted. I have to go back. I did remind myself. So thank you for that reminder. And I don't know how long it is or everything he's talking about in the clip, but it is on his YouTube. So go check out Will. So we appreciate you all, and we'll see you all next week and the Jack of Hearts week, as we was kind of saying earlier. Important to yourself as much as you pour into other people as well. So don't forget, self-care is always best. But if you can't do it out of the kindness of your heart, don't try to give. So making sure that you can give from a whole cup and not a half cup, and there's no regrets later on. So.
You'll be bitter. You really will. I ain't lying. So yeah, that's key.
So we'll see how the Passion of Christ shows up this week. And Gina was going to tell you her life story.
You'll get a good idea this week. Because I'm telling you, when people have the Jack of Hearts heavy in their spread, they're my clients. I be hearing from them, what is this?
Because you're the pastor. The Jack of Hearts is the preacher. They're the pastors. They're on the soapbox. That's where you go, and they're going to listen. They're going to talk. And you have the Two of Hearts. You can't help but create space for people.
Yeah, I do. I realize I'm very. There's a counseling energy that comes. Mm-hmm. Being able to counsel, almost kind of being able to talk people off a ledge. Honestly, is what we've become very good at with these cards. I get clients that will. This week's just been so much. Can you have a few minutes that you help me unpack, help me break it down even more? If I can help, I'm going to help. But I've learned boundaries when I can do it. I'm not going to stop what I'm doing anymore to save you. I'll do it in the time that is conducive to me. I don't mind doing it at all. I love doing it actually, but I have to do it in my time and not feel this urge that I have to stop my whole life and, fix you or, help you make it make sense. I do make it make sense, but I do it again, having those boundaries is absolutely key. It's taken me some time, but I've learned.
And we're not going to tell them why and how or which cards denotes you having to do that. Now we'll say that for next week. But so we'll look at the positions and why those particular things come up for the Jack of Hearts. And another key is placement, and maybe why they don't move and how that kind of plays out for them throughout the week and how that energy maybe can feel throughout this week as well, And I have a theory behind that as well, and it is based upon, let me see, did I say it last week? Because last week was a 9? Yeah, because that's a semi-fixed card. So the theory is there's a reason why those cards are fixed, and I also kind of hinted to it based upon the principles. So I'll leave that there, around my theory, and I'll tell you this coming week about why. But we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you all next week.
Yes, thank you, everybody. Enjoy the week, and come back and share how the Jack of Hearts, you know, plays out for everybody. I just want to hear other people. I already know how it plays out for me, but it's an interesting card to get when people have it and what it transpires into their, you know, into their life. So it'll be interesting to see what plays out. So I'm looking forward to it. Everybody enjoy the week. Have fun. That's my best advice. Go play. Go have some damn fun. Do something that just brings that childlike essence that the Jack of Hearts embodies in so many different ways. Make light of it all. Like that's my thing, is just make light of it all. Your heart has to be light as a feather to be this good. As if it's not, it's very daunting. But it'll be important to have that lightness in your heart. So, but y'all have a good one. I just have someone knocking at my door, so I'm gonna go.
And that's how we judge. We're gonna leave it there. Thank
you.
Yeah.
Peace, everybody.
All right, bye.
Bye, Rashad.
Bye.